Is Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister. And Ben tells them about the minister.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah. And Muhammad is his messenger. I would like to greet us all with the greeting words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to part 2 of The Mind of Allah. The Mind of Allah by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. If you did not get a chance to check out yesterday's, please go to the YouTube channel, Brother Ben X, go to the live section and check out part 1 of The Mind of Allah. Great message, great feedback yesterday. And today we are on part number 2. For those of you all who may be here for your first time, if you're tuning in, maybe on Zoom, what we do is we listen to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, a message or some, maybe a reading, and then we take notes about what stands out for us, and then we share at the end and have a little dialogue about, what stands out for us. So we did do part 1 yesterday. We should be finishing part 2 today. Let me see. Yeah, we should be able to finish part 2 today. So stay tuned and get your notepads out and get ready. Let's see here.
He didn't have faith either. Because you don't always know. That's right. But if you believe, you will walk on until knowledge comes. We're dealing now with knowledge. He said, well, you can't have faith you don't have a good knowledge of. But you know what? They're dealing with knowledge. But the man didn't have knowledge. He didn't have faith either. Because you don't always know. But if you believe, you will walk on until knowledge comes. We're dealing now with knowledge. He said, well, you can't have patience with that, but you don't have a comprehensive knowledge. And then Moses said, if Allah please, you will find me patient. Neither shall I disobey you in anything. Then the wise man said, if you would follow me, question me not about anything until I myself speak to you about it. Don't question me now. Walk with me and don't bother me with questions until I raise the thing to you. Moses agreed to the term. And you know what? They set out and they embarked in a boat. And the man put a hole in the boat. You're in a boat and a man put a hole in the boat. Moses couldn't wait to ask him. And he wasn't patient at all. He said, have you made a hole in it to drown us? You surely have done a grievous thing. Now look at what he's accusing the wise men of doing. Look at the word grievous, grievous, grievous. What is a grievous thing? A thing that brings grief. Yes. It's a thing that produces loss and brings about grief as a result of loss. The man got a boat, we in the boat, you putting a hole in the man's boat, the man agreed to give you a ride, you drilling a hole in the boat. What's wrong with you? Isn't that normal that you would think like that? Show you how emotion will mess you up. He got emotional. It's a grievous. See, grief is an emotion. Loss. I'm suffering loss. Oh, I can't. Oh, an emotion gets over you. Look at this man. He put a hole in the boat. I can't swim. The wise man said, did I not say you couldn't have patience with me? He said, oh, blame me not for what I forgot, and don't be hard on me for what I did. I'm sorry. So they went on. The wise man let him come. They met a little boy. And the wise man slew the boy. Killed him. Moses said, wait a minute. Have you slain an innocent person? Not guilty of slaying nobody? Now it ain't Grievous no more. You did a horrible thing. See, when you're emotional and don't have a lot of knowledge, you start making judgment. That's a grievous thing you did. That's a horrible thing you did, because you don't know. What are you judging from? You see something, it don't look good, there's a hole in the boat. You did it. Grievous. Here's a little boy, you killed the boy. Terrible, horrible. I regret the day I ever thought to follow a man like you. The wise man said, did I not say to you that you couldn't have patience with me? Now that wise man either must have known what he was doing. But Moses was following so emotional, he couldn't follow well. Well, they went on. They came to a people of a town. They asked the people for food, but they refused to entertain the wise man and Moses as guests. And as they walked on, they found a wall which was on the point of falling. So the wise man put the wall into a right state. Moses said, if you had wished, you could have gotten paid for that. You asked them for some food, they didn't want to feed you. You see a wall broke down, you go fix the wall. You didn't even ask the people for some food and some money. You see us here hungry? What the hell is wrong with you? Are you wise or fool? Of course, I'm adding to it, you know what I mean? But that's... Make it plain, bro. That's the Negroes popping up out of the book. So the wise man said, well, this is the parting between me and you. We're gonna break company now. And let me tell you something, brothers and sisters. When you deal emotionally, when you're trying to follow God, at a certain point, you're going to have to part company with God. And God will part company with you. Because God ain't never dealing on emotion. There's a practical wisdom in everything that he does. And as long as you're thinking emotionally, subjectively over loss and pain and hurt, you'll never see the big picture of the way God thinks. So God, the wise man said, well, we got to part now. Now I will inform you of the significance of that with which you could not have patience with me. As for the boat, it belonged to poor people working on the river. And I intended to damage it. For behind them a king who seized every boat by force. See? I saw what you didn't see. A king was coming, seizing boats by force. These were poor people who used their boat. I put a hole in the boat so the boat would sink, so that when the wicked king who was confiscating boats came, they wouldn't lose their boat. And when the wicked king passed over, he could go and get his boat, patch the hole, and sail on. But see, you couldn't have patience with me because you couldn't see. And you didn't believe enough in me to walk. And so you became emotional and got lost. He said, as for the boy, he said, his parents were believers, and we feared lest he should involve them in wrongdoing and disbelief. So we intended that their Lord might give them in his place one better in purity and nearer to mercy. A brother said, I heard that a brother said, when a question was asked, would you die for the minister. And a person said, I see the good that the minister is doing. If I thought the enemy would hurt him, I would die to protect him. When you don't die for him, you die for your children. You don't even know the minister.
Yes.
I ask you, how many of you know your children? You only die for your children because they're yours. You don't know what they're going to turn out. You got a little baby in your arms. Hitler was a little baby too. Every evil demon on the earth was a baby once. They cooed and they cute. Hey, you don't know what you holding. You don't know what you rocking. You hope you're rocking some child of consequence. Huh? But God knows what your child is. Look at what the Quran says. I created you in the womb. And one of you is a believer. And the other is a disbeliever. You don't know when you have a baby which one is and which one isn't. God knows. So if God saw righteous parents bringing forth a child that would bring them to grief and cause them to be involved in wrongdoing, many of you don't even have the courage to speak to your children properly when they're involved in wrongdoing, and sometimes even in your goodness, you're weak and your children involve you in wrongdoing. Mama, it's true, I'm out there selling drugs, Mama. But they're going to buy it from somebody, Mama. I see you here scuffling, Mama. Praying all the time for some money. Well, here I come, Mama, with the answer to your prayers. I just made $700 selling some crack. Here, Mama, you got 5. I'll take 2. Mama said, now, boy, you know you shouldn't do that, but I'll take the 5. I'm going to pray for you, boy, but I got to pay this rent. See how a righteous mother, because of poverty and straightness of means and condition, can be led into sin by a wayward son. Anytime you take the money, you're involved in unrighteousness. You're encouraging your boy to continue in a path. Even if you're poor, reject the money. For the principle of righteousness is bigger than the money, and trust in God to bring you money in a more righteous way. Yeah. I know you ain't applauding too heavy on that one. Because there's very few of us that can turn down money when it don't come righteously. I was in California recently, and a brother came to me and said, there's a man outside, Reverend so-and-so and so-and-so. He has several $1,000s that he wants to bring and put directly in your hand. I said, that's very nice, brother. Tell him to put it in your hand and give him a receipt for it.
That's right. That's right.
I ain't seen the man or the money. Why you won't put the money directly in my hand? That's very nice. But that's not the way to get to me.
That's right.
By offering me money.
Yes,
He thought when he said there'd be thousands of dollars, I would say, fling wide the gates. Move back, God. Let that man in. Money don't mean that much to me.
Right. You
come right to me.
Yes, sir.
I was a young minister and a man bought me a beautiful briefcase. I accepted the gift. I said, thank you for the gift, brother. I really appreciate that. I said, but if you mess up, I'm going to double the punishment to you. Because if you think you can buy me with a little briefcase, I just want you to know that the law is the law. Don't you mess up, brother, because it'd be double time for you. Thank you for the briefcase. You can't be like God and let nobody buy you. You can't buy God. God is not a whore. And any man or woman that is a whore, you are not of God. You got to be right and stand up for a righteous principle. And don't bend on that principle. Die on that principle before you let somebody make you give up what is right for a few dollars. My son was with me when I was talking with them in Saudi Arabia. Billionaires. And I talked to them like I had the money. And they were poverty stricken. I said, I ain't come here to beg you for nothing. Allah is sufficient for me. I say, you got wealth now, but it can be taken from you in the twinkling of an eye.
Yes, sir.
Did I say it, son?
Yes, sir.
See, when you try to make me a prostitute, that's when you make me rise up, or the God in me. I don't like that. I don't like nobody to think you can buy me with nothing. No. And that's the way you gotta be. If you want freedom, liberation, you don't let nobody take you off your goal for some trinket. Things you will get. But once you give up a principle, you get the thing, but you're very unhappy. That's why Judas, after he sold Jesus out for the 30 pieces of silver, he went and hung himself. He couldn't enjoy the money because he lost a principle. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now I'm talking to the sisters, you know. Your virtue is more valuable than any price that any man can give. Your virtue is more valuable than any price that any man can give. And you must never compromise the principle upon which your virtue is based until and unless there's a firm commitment to you. You understand what I'm saying? Because usually, when a man can get to you without a commitment, and he don't think nothing of you, and he walks away from you, and then treats you like dirt. Emotions. This man killed that baby because he knew in the long term the baby would bring grief. So he took it as a baby, knowing that the Lord would give them in the baby's place one better in purity and nearer to mercy. Isn't that beautiful? So when you lose your children, have a miscarriage, don't fall to pieces. You don't know what's going on in the future. You don't know what's in God's mind. He's the best knower. Yes, it's painful to carry a baby for 9 months or so, or 6 months or 3 months and lose it. It's even worse to have it for a year or two and lose it. But if you lose it, Do you believe that God is good? Then trust him enough to say, you give and you take away. Just make sure it's not your negligence. Because if it's your negligence, then you're going to suffer with that. But if it's God taking it, then so be it. Now, I'm going to close this beginning of this lecture. I'd like to close by looking at the Persian Gulf and how God is looking at it. When I left Baghdad, I put my hand over my heart, as I said Sunday, with sadness and tears from my eyes as I took off and looked at the beautiful city of Baghdad, knowing that it would not be that beautiful a week from the time that I left. That was emotional, wasn't it? I looked at the people, the young men in the hotel who served us, some of them from Africa, some of them from different parts of the world, living in Iraq, working in Iraq, and as I shook their hands, I wondered, would we ever see each other again? That's natural. That's emotional. I thought when I went to Baghdad that I should do everything I could to try to get peace, because I love Muslims. I love Islam. And I love all those black brothers and sisters of mine and Hispanic brothers and sisters that are sitting out in the Gulf due to no fault of theirs. They just wanted a job and the white man sent them out there. I don't want to see my brothers die. So I said, I got to do everything I can for the sake of peace. But when I was on my way there and I told you the little wheel was outside of the plane, one of the wheels, what they call an unidentified flying object, flying saucer, and that red light was going, what Allah was showing me, you can't stop this. For this is what I have ordered. I'm the one behind this war, not Bush. And I said it in my speech. I said, this don't belong to Bush nor Saddam Hussein. This is the day of God. And as I looked at Saddam Hussein, and maybe you saw him on television today in an interview that they took, after they bombed and bombed and bombed,
that's right,
the man comes out in a suit.
That's right. That's right.
And looking sharp.
That's right. That's right.
And he sat down, and Bush looked kind of tired and beat.
Yes, he did.
And ain't no bomb fell on Bush.
That's right.
Bush dropping all kind of bombs on this man, and he's at peace. And he's talking about, when they asked him, what chance? Do you think you have a chance to win? He said, we don't have one chance in a million of losing. Not one chance in a million of losing. Now the man has just been bombed and bombed, and he's talking like that. Now he didn't look crazy to me. His eyes wasn't going up and looking wild. I said, man, this man here is resolute. He's convinced, and he's ready. Here's the God part of it. God is saying, I'm going to give nations for your life. You are my people, I am your God. You have suffered 400 years in the house of bondage. Yes. And now I've come and chosen you to be my people, and I'm going to be your God. You're a foolish people, but I'm going to make you the wisest people that ever lived, because I'm going to share my mind with you. I'm going to bring you up into my thinking. As the prophet said, this is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our sight. For the stone that the builders rejected is become the headstone of the corner. See? I'm going to do this for you because I love you. Now I'm going to sacrifice lives for you. This is the way God thinks. It ain't mathematics. I mean, it ain't emotional. It's pure mathematics. Now look at this. He knew that the white man was coming to rule. He allowed him to rule.
That's right.
He ain't thinking emotional.
That's right.
I'm going to let the white man rule. The angel said he's going to create mischief and cause the shedding of blood. He said, I know that, I know that, I know that. I know that. But I know what you don't know. I know why he's permitted to do this. There's a good end coming behind it. The race is not to the swift, but to the one that can endure to the end.
Yes, sir.
The white man come and found our fathers in Africa. Right. You think God didn't see him? God let him do it.
Yes, sir.
And we were brought out of Africa. Look how many millions of us lost our lives in the Middle Passage.
Right.
God knew it, but he ain't emotional. He ain't saying, oh, this is terrible. What are you doing, God? I'm making a people for my glory. Well, how do you make people for your glory? I don't try them with silver and gold. I try them and prepare them in the furnace of affliction. Oh, some of you are going to die. But the good end is for those of your seed that can endure. I'm going to make a strong people.
Yes, sir.
I don't want the weak ones.
Go ahead.
I want the strong.
Yes.
So the Middle Passage will weed out the weak ones. And only the strongest of the strong will make it from Africa to the Americas, because they're going to undergo something that no people have ever undergone, and the weak ones will die out. It's like sperm coming in the vaginal tract. All the sperm don't get to the egg. There's only one. All the rest of them die and become food for the others. The race is not to the swift. God ain't emotional. Look at all the sperm that I lost. But look at the one that did the job.
That's right.
God don't think like you think. It ain't no emotion in it. He knew we were going to get beat up.
Yes, it is.
He said, let it be.
That's right.
If he didn't say, let it be, it wouldn't have been.
That's right.
You can look at the white man all you want. That no good white man, that dirty dog, that low down this. Well, God is the one that put him on the track.
That's right.
Now, which one are you going to call God that? See, you get all emotional like that fool trying to follow a wise man. Look at this horrible thing you done. You brought us into slavery and let us suffer like this. What kind of God is you? He said, I told you couldn't have patience with me. But Job had patience with me, and that's why he came out in the end on the winning side. Can you walk with me? This is God walking you through suffering. Huh?
Yeah.
You see your fathers hung up on trees, drowned in the rivers and the lake. God said, let it be. Because in the end, I'm going to destroy your enemies. But out of that will come a people so great, unlike any generation that has ever been fashioned. Because they'll be like, the super roach and the super rat. You pour all this mess on them, and then they get immune to it, and they start growing with it, getting fat off it. This
right.
white man, they put more death and poison on you. But look at you, brother.
Lord.
Look at you. You're the strongest of the strong.
Yes, sir.
That's right, sisters. You're the strongest of the strong. No other people could have undergone this and made it. You made it through.
Lord.
And now God is ready to bring you up into his mind. Jesus said you can't put new wine in an old wineskin. lest the wineskin break and the wine spill out. He's trying to say, I can't put new wisdom in this old vessel, so I'm going to make you new. So when you come to the nation, you don't come, brother, thinking that you're going to understand everything just so, but come with the understanding that God is going to put you through something to make you something.
Right. Right.
So when you get a little buffeting over here and a little shaking over there and a little hurt over here and a little rejection over here, don't get excited because worse things happen to Jesus.
Yes.
Don't give up. Don't get emotional. You see what happened? I became a believer. I gave my money. I sold papers. I did whatever they told me to do. Then what happened? They had picking somebody to be a lieutenant, and he passed right over me. It chose that person, and they didn't work as hard as me. They didn't do as much as me. I don't see how they get. I'm leaving. You mean you're going to blow the course, man, over something like that?
Right.
If I had known you were such a punk, I would never have invited you to this, man.
Yes, sir. Go ahead,
I know that's terrible language. But you start acting very emotional when you don't get what you want, when you want it. Same way with you, sister. You don't get what you want when you want it, and you get uptight, wind in your jaws. We're going to get a divorce, that's what it is. Just at the time that your good fortune is about to come, you will blow it with a divorce. Some of you sisters can't have patience with a man when a man don't want to work for the white man. I want to just mention that for a minute. You happy with the man long as he working with the white man bringing home big money. Why you leave your good paying job? He said, baby, I want to do something to help myself. For what? Wasn't you helping yourself with AT&T?
Teachers.
6 months later, things going down. I told you, you should have stayed at AT&T. Now look, I'm sitting up here in this nasty apartment. They done took my TV. I can't see how the world turns no more. If you don't go back to AT&T, I'm going to leave you. Poor man, he comes to the FOI. I'm trying to do something for myself. I'm about to lose my family. You know, sisters, you got to know when you got a good man. He give you signs that this is a good man, but when he gets in a down, don't kick him. Help him. Encourage him. You can do it. Make him go for himself. You don't want no man that's always up under the white man tied to him.
Right. Right.
You want a man that wants to think like a man. The money is not more important than the man being a man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, brothers, that don't mean that money ain't important now.
You're the balance. More with the balance.
I don't want you to think that you can have a home on romance. The old saying was coming along when I was a little boy that romance without finance is a nuisance. And that's about right. In fact, if you ain't got no finance, it's hard to get some romance. Let the church say amen. Brothers and sisters, very seriously though,
Yes, sir.
the wives should encourage their husbands. Keep after them to break free, and if they break free, make them know that they can survive, they can do it. And when a woman is by your side to help you, particularly when you're down, brother, when you get up, remember her. When you get up, don't walk away from her. When you get up, remember her. And anything that you can do to make life happy for her, do it for her. Don't be selfish, brothers. I mean, the brothers like to look sharp, don't we, brothers? I mean, we like them fine suits and shoes. Come on now, brothers, you know. Like them sharp. But you got a wife with all these run-over shoes. She got a dress on that, well, she done patched the dress till the dress is one patch. And you kind of glad that in the mosque they separate the brothers from the sisters so that nobody would know she's connected to you. We sharp as a tack. She raggedy as a bowl of Yakima. Whatever that is. And brothers, I'm telling you, I used to be like that. I got to tell the truth. Say confession is good for the soul, you know. When I was a young minister, young man, I was poor and raggedy, brother, that's the truth. But I would buy them used suits out of the pawn shop. You know, somebody died and left it. It wasn't quite my size. It looked big in the shoulders, short in the hips. What the heck? It was new. But my wife didn't have that. She wear them shoes till the heel was, you know, kind of run over. And I came to Chicago one day, and the messenger's wife looked at my wife's shoes. And she called me. She said, Brother Lewis, she said, this is a shame. I thought so much better of you than this. Look at your shoes and look at your wife's. Look at your suit and look at her. He said, Sister Betsy, here, take this money and go get you a pair of shoes. That shamed me down and straightened me up. Brother, if you gotta walk in dungarees, keep your woman sharp. You get more credit in overalls. Walking in the mosque with clean overalls. Brother, where's your suit? Well, you understand. I ironed my overalls. That's the best I could do, but that's my wife. And them is my children. And his wife is dressed, brother. Children sharp. Put her first. And God will put you first. Don't never put your woman last. Put her first. Buy for her, then for you. Buy for the children, then for you. And if there ain't nothing left, then patch and walk with your woman. And if some dude said, look at that raggedy nigga, your wife will go smack him upside his head. Brothers, I'm not telling you anything wrong. It sounds kind of wrong. But that's emotional. You're looking at the thing subjectively. But if you look at it objectively, brother, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us, they don't measure civilization by the man. They measure civilization by her. And sisters, that's why I'm telling you, cover and be beautiful. Because if you want to show yourself like in the days of ignorance, your bosom out, and other parts exposed, this drags us as men. Don't it, brother? You walking down the street with her, the dogs barking, the drunk is slobbering, and you wake up when she walk by and say, ooh. And you feeling bad, you want to fight everybody. Now you don't have to do that. But sister, man get real jealous over what's his. And that's intelligent, brother. That's not emotional. Though jealousy is an emotion, brother, but that's something to get wind in your jaws over. This is my wife. And what is hers, if she's my wife, that's mine. Well, I don't want you examining my goods. You might like what you see. Then I have to kill you for trying to get what don't belong to you. Why y'all gonna put your husband in that shameful position? Brothers, dress her. And if you dress her, try to help her to choose garments that are beautiful but not revealing. Can you see what I'm saying, sister? You mad with me for saying that? Now, I know, sisters, when you're beautiful, you want everybody to know. I understand. That's the way this world is. And you are beautiful. But sisters, don't attract men to you on that cheap principle. Because where you are beautiful, somebody else in the seat behind you, more beautiful. So if that's all you thinking on, oh, you done lost your husband already. Always gonna be somebody more beautiful than you. But if you're most beautiful to him, then you've closed his eyes to some other beauty. And that's what you got to be doing. Closing his eyes. And you close his eyes by being yourself. What is yourself? A righteous Muslim. Well, I guess so much for lesson number 1 on emotion and thinking like God. There's so much on this subject that I really want to say. But if from this point tonight When you have a decision to make, let's try to see if we can put our feelings under our intelligence.
Yeah.
Try it. Something simple. Try it. Something simple. Like a pair of sneakers for $175. Now emotion would say, everybody on the block got some of them shoes. I want that. What's $175? You got it? No, but I can steal. Now that's a decision that you're going to make. Based on what? Emotion. So you're going to beat your brother over a pair of shoes, over a jacket? That's madness, brother. Think. What is a shoe for? To cover the foot. To allow you to walk in a nasty environment without hurting your foot. Now I got on snake skin. I could wear Tom McCann just as nice. But I could afford the snake skin.
That's right.
Maybe you can. Well, what you can afford. The idea is to cover your foot, not to keep up with the Joneses.
That's right. That's right.
I wear a leather coat. I went and bought it. I liked it.
Yes, sir.
It had mink on the inside. I bought it. I could afford it.
That's right.
I'm not trying to lead you to break your neck
Right. Teacher.
to try to keep up with me.
Go ahead, brother.
You be able to wear the best, but don't start there.
Right.
I didn't.
That's right.
Start where it's comfortable for you. That's thinking unemotional. That's very mathematical, very practical. I'm just going to get me a pair of shoes. I want the best, but I can't afford it. When you go to buy a car, what do you really want? You want the best. Anybody in here that don't want the best, raise your hand. You see any hands raised, brother?
No, sir.
You know why you want the best? Because you are the best. You are the best. But if you cannot afford the best, then you gotta
Teach us.
suppress the emotion and heighten the reason.
Yeah.
Well, I do want a Mercedes-Benz. I just can't afford that bad boy. But I do want to ride. So I'm gonna get me a Chevy. It ain't the best, but I'll get the best in the Chevy department. They got this nice looking Caprice. It ain't what I want, but it's what I can afford right now. And I know the white man not gonna come and get it
That's right.
3 months from now because I can't make the payment. Think intelligently, brothers. You're gonna be able to get the best that is in the world, but you don't start there. You start where you can afford. Sisters, don't force your husband into debt. Debt makes a man a slave. Do you want a slave? You don't. Lies. Anytime you go downtown and buy your living room set and your bedroom set and your washing machine and your dryer and your refrigerator and sign on the dotted line, you making somebody a slave. The moment you can't pay the bill, here come a nasty letter, then a phone call, then somebody knocking on your door, coming to take their stuff because you haven't paid for it yet. See how people put you down when your desires are more than your ability? Keep your emotion in check by intelligent, practical, mathematical logic. Yes. And you grow strong economically, brothers and sisters. Don't spend beyond your means. Yes, sir. Why did Donald B. Elijah's mama tell us that the diameter of the earth is 7,926 miles? Because if the diameter is 7,926 miles, then you know what the circumference is. Because C is pi d. That's a formula. Yes, sir. So if the diameter is 7,926 miles and pi is 22/7, so 3.14, then you multiply 3.14 by the diameter and you got the circumference, 24,896 miles. Well, if you know the diameter of your paycheck, don't live in space. Come on. Go ahead, brother. Come on. Can you imagine somebody jumping off in space? It's peaceful out here. You weren't made to live in space. You are not a space cadet. So when you know you only make $300 a week, $250 a week, $500 a week, your wife makes $1,000 a week. Usually she makes more than the brother. Oh, that's a terrible thing when they do that, brother. That sure puts you in a terrible squeeze, don't it? She make more money than you, talk stronger. After a while, you start looking like Mickey Mouse or talking like Donald Duck in the house, looking more like Goofy. That's a shame. But whatever your salary is, that's the diameter. Then you know the circumference of your reality. Yes. Live within your reality. And if you live within your reality, and I live within mine, then it's spheres within spheres, then pretty soon God will grow your reality. Yes. If you can accept where you are and build from there. But if you're going to just live in dreams now, you got Rolls Royce taste, but Volkswagen pocketbook. Sister said, did you say get a bicycle, sister? Now, I don't mean to bore you with this, but because of the emotion, that's how the Jew and the white boy stays in power. You go downtown to buy a suit, and he laid a suit on you, said, this is beautiful. Snatches it in the back and pulls it. It's really beautiful, fits. Beautiful. Put on them funny colored lights and you swear it's the color you thought, you know what I mean? And he charges you double the money. And if you find where the white man, the smart white man, buy his clothes, he buys $500 suits for $150. He don't spend no 500, only you.
That's right.
And you working weeks, hustling months. For what, sisters? I told my wife when I married her, boy, and that's why it ain't nothing too good for her now.
That's right.
Nothing. Anything I can give her, she got it. Because she ain't never raised her voice at me when we were just eating beans.
That's right.
I made $44.10 a week. 90 cents they took out for Social Security or whatnot. And they give me $44 in my hand. I had a wife and 3 children. I went upstairs, look at my TV. It was an old raggedy TV, but it worked. I didn't buy no new TV. I bought what I could afford. Because I told my wife I wasn't having no white man come to my door and threaten me over no bill, because I'll kill him.
Right.
You don't try to make no boy out of me when my God and my messenger trying to make a man out of me.
Right.
And I'm not going to let you talk to me like I'm some chump because I owe you some money, because in the first place, I'm going to try not to owe you no money.
Right.
I said, baby, whatever we can afford, that's what we get. Ain't no emotion involved in this. I went to an old store. I wanted a rug on the floor. And I saw a beautiful rug for $20. You couldn't come to my house and say that that was a $20 rug. I bought an old good rug for $20. Give that man that 20. We were so happy when we spread that bad boy out in our raggedy apartment. We got our first rug. I found some old sofa and chairs. And I put them on my back and took them to a place that reupholsters, and worked several weeks and got the money up, bought the fabric from where I worked, got the what they call seconds or remnants, and put a beautiful set together. You couldn't come in my living room and know that that was a set that I just found, but it was mine. And wasn't nobody coming to my door to take nothing. Only thing I had new was a kitchen set. You understand? I want to beautify my little apartment. I'm not no mechanical man, but I learned. I'm up there putting wallpaper, wallpaper up. Doing the best I could. My wife sitting there looking at me, laughing. But I was trying. When you make $45 a week, what you gonna do? I couldn't hire no wallpaper man to come in. I'm the wallpaper man. I hired myself. I had 5 rooms, didn't have no furniture but for 3. So I closed off 2. Just was practical, that's all. Today I don't have to do that no more. Today I can go and buy a car off the floor. I'll take that.
Yes.
On credit? No. Cash. But I've been at this going on 40 years.
That's right.
You just got started.
That's right.
Don't try to do that. I hope you don't have to start as bad as I started. Maybe you can start on a higher level. But I'm telling you, if you don't use emotion, that's one of the things Elijah Muhammad drilled into us. We don't work like that. We don't try to keep up with the Joneses. We do the best we got. If we got to eat off a crate, get you some fabric and dress up the crate. Nobody got to know it's an orange crate. Get you some material and put some frills on it. Dress it up. You can take a towel and do something with it. That's what the MGT and GCC class is all about. It's to teach a woman how to take nothing and make something out of it. But sisters, don't try and tell the sisters to be poor if they got means that they can do better. Live within your means. But don't look down on one Muslim or one person that does not live like you live. When I first came to Chicago as a Muslim and I saw the way the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's children were living, it was inspirational to me. They had beautiful apartments. It was apartments in those days, but Sister Ethel Sharif, she actually knew how to upholster furniture. And her furniture was magnificent. They made their drapes and their house was laid out. And when I saw that, I went back home. I had an idea now to make my own house look better. Wherever you live, make it look better. Right. Stop spending your money on cigarettes and alcohol and cocaine and foolishness. Spending $6 and $7 a week to go to the movie to watch some love scene. Hell, you and your wife get together in front of a mirror and pay yourself the $6. I'm sorry, be unemotional about this thing. Be practical. I think it's time for me to go. Every one of you Muslims, get these lessons and start studying the supreme wisdom and come up into the mind of God. I thank you so much for coming out tonight. May Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum. But everybody, please hold their seat. Please hold.
Wow. If you have anything that stood out for you that you would like to share, go ahead and press the number 1 at this time while I get my charger. Go ahead and press the number 1, family. Non-emotional. Y'all can't even hear me. Just let me talk. Just talk. But I said go ahead and press the number 1 at this time if you have anything that you would like to share. Let's go to Brother Daniel. Brother Daniel.
Yes, sir. All praise is due to Allah. I didn't want to wait on this one. It's quite a few points, great family. I think I'm gonna start with the proverb of Moses and the wise man, and how that whole wonderful narrative is very significant. Now, the minister said with that narrative that if we too emotional, eventually there's going to be a part in the way with God. That's, to say the least, concerning, because it says to me that I have to, in my journey, rise above emotions into the thinking of God. Or at some point in my life, I'm going to have some type of party, which is going to have to make me rethink that. And as I'm listening to that divine wisdom, what's coming into my mind is just submit. The things that I'm getting that I know I have to do, the knowledge, the wisdom, the basic things that I'm being asked to do in my Islam, do that. Live out the 5 pillars. And also in that scenario, I'm realizing that because he said that Moses didn't have faith. He said he didn't have knowledge, but he not only did he not have knowledge, he didn't even have faith. I think is a very bad mindset to say I won't submit until I understand. Uh, That's erroneous thinking because there's going to be a lot of things I'm not going to understand, but I'm going to be ordered to submit. And if I'm going to wait until I understand why I'm being asked to submit, like we're being taught that God is not emotional, then I'll die in that mindset. And God will gladly let me do so. Going to be rebellious like that. So um, that's a mindset that has to be challenged because it also makes me think about how we have a lot of questions, and sometimes our questions are not properly motivated. We're asking questions because we really don't want to do what we're being asked to do, and we got these endless questions. Endless questions. I had that mindset, still trying to get rid of it, but I noticed that that's something I got to put in check because when I'm being given an instruction, as Allah says in the Holy Quran, when Allah and His Apostle give you an instruction, you ought to hear and obey. And then understanding comes after obedience. And there's one more point. I'll just stick with Moses and the wise man on this last point. It also makes me think about looking at the scenario of why the wise man, whose name is Kadir, had to do certain things. It was always for the greater good. So poking a hole in the boat, slewing the child, not asking for a reward after repairing a wall. So it tells me in my life, there are things that's going to come into my life of serious trials, serious tribulations, even persecution. But I can't become so emotional about it where I don't want to submit and I lose faith because what looks bad is not. And since we follow the apostle and we believe in the all-knowing and truthful God, then it would be best for me to understand that all things work in good for those who love Allah and are called according to His purpose. So it would be best for me to exercise faith and move forward and not allow any circumstance to circumvent or remove me from obedience to Allah. That's all, fam.
Praise be to Allah. You said one of the things that stood out to me is you don't always know, but if you believe, you will walk on until you have knowledge. And I think I was saying this and speaking about this the other day. I don't know if it was in a digital real estate class or what, but you know, if you always have to have understanding of what's going to happen, the full steps, then you're going to find yourself being stagnant a lot of times. Because as you just said, Brother Daniel, you won't always know. We won't always have the full blueprint and plan. And what some of us have to realize is that there is something that we do know. We just have to trust and believe. We do know that God got me through last time. We do know that it was difficult last time, but I'm still here today. And I was telling somebody the other day, they asked me, how do you remain positive, I think, or something, when things go good or bad? Like, how do you? I said, well, you first have to have faith in the God that when the scripture says all things work out for the greater good for those who believe, you have to believe that. You have to have faith in that, because as the minister said, in belief in Allah, that the faith sometimes overrides the logic. Logically and actual facts wise, it may look like there's no way this is going to take place, but faith overpowers that. It defies logic when you have faith. Then I said, well, not just faith in God, but also faith and belief in ourselves. Do you know yourself good enough to say, no matter what happens, good or so-called bad, I know and have belief that I'm going to overcome and make it good? If I go through this and so-called negativity and bad things happen, it's good because I learn what not to do. I learn what not to do again. I'm more wiser in the future. There's a quote that says, if I erase all of the negative experiences from my life, I must also take away the wisdom. Ooh, that was deep when I first. Ooh, if I take away all the negativity, if I take away all of the so-called bad experiences, I must also remove the wisdom because I gain wisdom from certain situations, many situations. I gained lessons. Understanding and discernment was being developed when I went through so-called bad situations, unfortunate situations. So I gotta have trust in God, yes, but also understand that there's force and power in me that I too have the ability to say be. And it is not by abracadabra magical stuff, but by, hey man, I have a will too. I have a desire and a will too. And where there's a will, they say there's a way. So I mean, it may be an unfortunate situation, but I'm gonna make it out okay because of my attitude on how I view this life. This perspective that I have is going to be one that says no matter what happens, it's good because I'm learning from it. I'm seeking refuge and a lot and getting his understanding. I'm having his perspective. So just walk, man. Just go. Because you never know if you right, if somebody else right, if it's the right path, not the right path. You never know if you just sit still and don't go nowhere. And God, as we discovered, well, not as we discovered. I think I just shared it. I said, if God wants us to be 100% dependent on him, it may be some situation that we'll put in where we don't have the full understanding, where we don't have a comprehensive knowledge. He wants us to walk out. Come on now. And trust me. And the more you trust him, we get sight. The more we trust him, we get clearer sight, clearer vision, because he's granting us with his shared will. He's granting us with a gift, with his gift of foresight. The more we lean on him. You ever somebody said, man, you power, man, how did you, man, I don't know how you do it. Man, I don't know how I do it either. You don't know how you do it because it ain't you anyway. It's Allah. We leaning on him. He really the pilot. Oh, he really the pilot. I like, man, how your plane missed that? How your plane go around the mountains like that? Man, how yours is the one that, man, shoot, I'm just on here riding and submitting. Oh, man, shoot. Oh, man, Allah is the pilot. It looked like I'm the pilot. Oh, but he's the one that really in the seat. Driving this thing. But we just got to be willing to take off, man. He just wants you to take off. He'll take over now y'all talk about Jesus take the wheel. Oh, that's what they said. They said, oh, Jesus, take the wheel. But hey, man, I need you to at least start the car and let's go first. God dang, boy. Imagine you. This some of us, and I'm going to go to the next part. This some of us. Oh, man, I ain't going to get in the car and strive to go to work today because I don't know. There may be a wreck that may happen. I don't know, man. Some crazy driver may be out there and crash me and I die. That's how some of us thinking with your business goals. That's how some of you sound with your goal and your vision. I don't know. I ain't got enough. That's like you sitting in a home every single day because you don't know what's outside your door. You don't know what's going to happen. You're not 100% sure of what's going to take place. You sitting in and staying in, getting hungry, getting fat. You just dying. Oh, you're just dying because you're not moving nowhere because you're scared. Guess what? Your business idea is dying. And you are dying because there's a level of stress that comes with a lack of duty. And that voice that's within you telling you, come on now, they need you. Come on now, put it out. Come on now. It's been too long now. Too much procrastination. Oh, and that voice get to whooping you, man. Hard for you to go to sleep at night. Hard for you to take a nap and rest. It's waking you up, reminding you of what you're supposed to be doing, man. That stress getting to you. So come on, man, and walk out there. And as he said, you don't always know, but if you believe, you will walk on until you get knowledge. So just take the leap, family. What's the worst that can happen? What is the worst that can happen? You learn from it and learn how you can do it better next time. What is the worst that can happen? Let's go to Coach Muhammad.
Assalamualaikum, family. Yeah, thanks for sharing that also, Brother Ben. You started provoking some thoughts, even though it took me away from what I wanted to say, but I appreciate it though. Like, yeah, because when I take off and I think I'm the pilot, you know, then my plane take a nosedive. Then I call on Allah, sometimes that happens, right? But I appreciate what the minister was saying, because as soon as I came in on it, like he was talking about self-centeredness, right? Now, he didn't use that language. But when he said, when I don't get what I want when I want it, yeah, right away I identified that self-centeredness, right? And it reminded me at the time, listen, I heard our minister Farrakhan one time share with us that his children asked him, what did he want for Father's Day, right? And his response to them was that, he didn't really want anything, just be a good son, be a good daughter. So when Father's Day came around for me, Brother Ben, my children asked me the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I said what the minister said, But Brother Ben, I didn't mean it when I said it. So when they didn't give me nothing, I felt unappreciated. But my pride wouldn't let me say I was joking, or I didn't mean it, right? So I had to take it. They didn't give me nothing, Brother Ben. I wanted a toolbox that year, but I wasn't being honest, and in that moment of feeling unappreciated, I got in touch with, and I said, well, damn, maybe this is how Allah feels. I said, because anyone out of all of us that needs to be appreciated on a consistent, regular basis would be him. But do you do that? This is me talking to me, right? I'm not talking to y'all. I use the I concept a lot of times because that works for me, right? Because I don't want to feel like I'm talking to y'all. I don't want y'all to think that, like, right, trying to give you something I don't do myself. And I said, wow. So so then after that, Brother Ben, I didn't go back to feeling that way on the next Father's Day. So when I said you ain't got to give me nothing, I actually meant it then. And then another thing, I've been married going on 29 years by Allah's grace, right? We have 8 children. And I can remember, I bear witness to what the minister is saying. I'm a beneficiary, right, of an MGT, or sister, or wife, right, who didn't kick me while I was down, right? And some of the times, Brother Ben, when I was down, I'm talking about down, it was because of my own bad decisions. It wasn't just, the ups and downs of life. No, it was direct result of bad decisions. Sometimes rooted in self-centeredness, sometimes rooted in pride, all of that, right? But she never did, man. We don't shoot our wounded. You know what I'm saying? We don't shoot our wounded. And I was able to come out of that, right? And I was able to see my wife, man, as a firm support, right? She wasn't somebody that, oh my God, I don't want to hear what she got to say. Like, she gonna remind me of what, none of that. And never used it against me. But today I take the time. I love when the minister said, whatever she wants, You try to get it, man. Like, you try to make her happy and things like that, because I'm still in debt, right? To her, not that I'm a slave, but just to reciprocate what was given to me in my period, right? So I'm a beneficiary of it. So I bear witness to what the minister's saying. That's what I'm saying to maybe the sisters out there that might be going through it or gonna go through it or been through it. The situation may not get better. Some things in life, man, the situation don't get better, but I can get better with the situation. So that's what I've learned, right? Over a period of time, I'm still learning. I can remember being when I played, I'm gonna shut up after this. I can remember when I was playing semi-pro football, but being right. And I'm a football player, so I know the game is hit. You know what I'm saying? But listen, man, this dude hit me so hard, blindsided. I was on defense. He hit me so hard, but I hit the ground and bounced back up. Now, if you would have told me somebody was gonna hit me like that, I would have avoided it. But the point is, I didn't know I could take a hit like that. I ain't come out the game. Hey, I'm not exaggerating. He hit me hard enough. I hit the ground and bounced right back up. I ain't know I could take that hit. So that was the lesson that I got. Sometimes in life, man, you're going to get hit, right? You're going to get blindsided. You know what I'm saying? But it's to show you where you at and show me the strength that I may have. It increases my faith, and so instead of crying why me and start speaking victimese, you know what I mean? Because I have my me against the world moments sometimes, but I be feeling like that sometimes. Sometimes it's petty frustration, sometimes it's other things. I learn how to label them, and I learn how to go through the emotion, right? Rising above emotions into the thinking of God does not imply that I deny my emotions. Right. I got to grow through them. So I identify them and I source them. Like, why am I feeling like that? Sometimes, man, it's just because of my pride. Sometimes it's just because I'm sensitive. My feelings got hurt. And when I'm able to identify that, I don't act on it. I say, man, you just tripping. This is how I talk to me. Sometimes I have to laugh at myself, man. So, I can appreciate this process, man, in this platform and in those words that the minister Farrakhan gave. That's all I got.
Praise be to Allah. Man, you made me think of someone that says, surely prayer keeps one away from indecency and evil. And certainly the remembrance of Allah is the greatest force, and Allah knows what you do. That you made me think of that because you mentioned, man, I looked at what Allah would think based on how we act. And it made it easy. I was able to do it the next year and meant it. And that just makes me think that, self-improvement and constantly having Allah on our mind, that reminder gives us the humility that we need, gives us the sincerity that we need, gives us the grace that we need. Because when I can look at it and say, man, I'm mad they didn't keep their word to me. Boy, how many times did you tell Allah, if you get me out of this one, I'm going to get right and I ain't going to mess up no more, and I messed up again. So that constant reflection of self, see, you can get blinded when you stop looking in the mirror. Oh, and everybody else look ugly until you remind yourself, boy, you ugly too. So that in the Bible where it talks about, hey, man, get the plank out of your own eye first before you get the plank out of your brother's eye. So the arrogance that some of us have, the ability not to do certain things sometimes may come from, man, you ain't self-reflecting enough. Because if you self-reflected, hey, man, the minister said, don't forget what Allah just brought you out of yesterday. Now you condemning. Now you see, so the self-reflection, man, the remembrance of Allah is important, but not just for the bad, for the good. The remembrance of how he was last month, last year, in a time where I didn't think I was going to make it out. It gives you the ability next year to be able to do something that you wasn't able to do last year, because I was able to remember what Allah has been doing and what he's done every day. Oh, man, the remembrances. I mean, the world causes us to obviously forget. Forget our trespasses. Forget when God forgave me. Forget when God blessed me with my prayer. Forget when he covered my sin. Oh, man. And then you can't wait to uncover others. You must be a fool, boy. Have you forgotten? Yeah, it may have happened 10 years ago, but did you forget, son? I covered you, sister. Oh, and you treat my other daughter like this here? You treat my other son like this here? Oh, okay. You done got a little arrogant, huh? You done must have forgot. So, man, that remembrance of Allah is something, and that's why, I love this one of my, we're going to watch this. What's today? 2. We're going to start, Sister Randisha, tomorrow's topic is the evolution of religion. I think is what it's called, the evolution of religion, evolution of God. It's something with the evolution. The minister was talking about religion, and he said that we shouldn't be religious slaves. Oh no, ritualistic slave. There it is. Ritualistic slaves, where you're going through the prayer and you're doing stuff, but you don't really understand the meaning of it. So you don't really get what you're supposed to get out of it because you don't understand the meaning of it. So he said, you're going through your prayers 5 times a day. Why? Why pray during these certain times? Why? He said, I don't know. Why pray with why right over left? I don't know. Oh, see? If we just doing it because it's a ritual, we just doing it because, Prophet Muhammad, be by him, he did. But if you don't understand the reason why, you ain't extracting the real juice up out of it. So when you understand the right over the left to suppress the Lord's desires, it's a remembrance now. When I'm in my prayer, I ain't just in the name of Allah, all praise to God, Lord of the world, but master the damn judgment which we now live. He alone. Yeah, you just going through it because it's repetition now. But do you really, when you're in it, okay, this is me reminding myself to submit, and suppress the Lord's desires. Yes, sir. Not just, I got up at the right time. The alarm got off. Okay, let me go. No, man. He started asking questions. Why you go around the Kaaba? What does it mean? Why that many times? Why not 7? Why not? So when it make you think, whoa, okay, I never thought about it like that. Why we do this here? Why are you going down? What does it mean? What is the bending of it? He said it's the bending of your will, man. So now I'm not just bending and doing all that just to say I know how to perform it. No, that ritual, the minister said a damn devil can pray 5 times a day. Yeah, Muslim, do y'all pray 5? Nigga, a devil can pray 5 times a day now and still be wicked as hell. That don't mean nothing because you on point with your okay, pray be to Allah. But if you if you ain't got the spirit and understand the reasoning, it ain't doing nothing for you. That ain't doing you got right back up a nigga, a devil. No, man, if you ain't internalizing it, and while you in the prayer, you're going through the motions, because he said the rituals is a reminder of the principle. That's what it is. It's a reminder of the deeper principle. So, man, that remembrance, man, is deep, man. So that's really prayer, man. It's to reaffirm what you believe in, that constant communication. When I say, hey, I'm striving to be upright, that's a reminder to me, boy, you ain't got it all the way yet now. You ain't arrived yet. You still striving to be upright to him who originated the heavens and the earth. That means you ain't complete yet. You still on your journey. So, man, thank you for sharing that, man. It's just keeping God on our mind through all things, striving to keep God on our minds through all things is important. And sometimes life gets so dark. Oh man, so dark where it's all you can do is depend on him. And that's the only thing that's gonna get you through is him. Oh, your bank account can't save you. Oh, relationships fail. You feel like you ain't got no friends. You feel like your family gone. Well, all you can do is depend on the God. And you got to have that constant remembrance to go one more day. So thank you for sharing that. Let's go to Sister Jamie.
Assalamu alaikum, family. Wow, this was a beautiful message, and I have to uplift my brothers. But before I do that, Brother Ben, I don't know why Allah is telling me this, but he wants me, and I understand that I'm sharing this, and I've never shared it with anybody but one other person. 20 years ago, when I first came into the nation, I had a dream, vision, whatever you want to call it, premonition, whatever it was. About with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I was a pilot, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad came to my helicopter pad because he told me that he had never been in a helicopter before and he wanted a ride. And I was like, sure, I'll be your pilot, no problem. I was excited because it was Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So as he got it, and he was with brothers, but he himself and just myself was the one that went up into the helicopter. So as we get in the helicopter, I'm flying this helicopter, and all of a sudden, the helicopter started going in disarray. I started losing control of the helicopter, and I almost ran into a mountain. And I'm like, what is going on? You know, I'm trying to figure out why I can't get this helicopter to rise up and so I won't hit this mountain. And he looked at me, and all of a sudden he said, be still. I got this. He said, as long as I'm with you, you don't have to never worry about crashing or, you know what I'm saying, being in trouble. But let me take control. I got this. And I don't know why Allah wanted me to share that, but it was for somebody in this group, because I've never shared this with anyone but one person. So whoever that was for, let go. Allah got your helicopter, and allow him to just guide you. And I promise you, whatever questions you got about this path you on, he's going to bring you through that. Saying that, and I also wanted to bring to about what he said about the sisters and disrespecting the man. Sisters, and I'm talking to myself as well too. We're taught to be so strong, especially those that are single women. We are taught to be strong because in our mind is, ain't nobody else gonna do it for me. I gotta do it for myself. And unfortunately, this white man has set that up. He set that up exactly the way he set that up because he wanted us to disregard our men. Even in slavery, what did we teach our sons? We taught them to be less men. We taught them be quiet or they gonna kill you. Master gonna kill you. To be shut up. Don't, you know, but they always put the woman ahead. You know, the Holy Quran and the Bible says that Pharaoh spared the women, but killed the men. Now, sometimes we look at that as, oh yeah, they killing our men, but sometimes it may not be a physical death. We have killed our men spiritually. We have killed our men financially. We have killed our men emotionally. And then you saying, well, he don't want to take care. How can he take care of somebody when all he do is get disrespected? A man don't want to be disrespected as a man. A man want to feel like a man. So then we sit up here and I'm all alone. Well, you all alone because you won't shut your mouth. Praise God. We have to stop castrating our men. And for a woman that knows what Brother Hakeem said as a strong MGT, man, love my sister. When I tell y'all, that was one of the first sisters Allah put me around when I came into the nations. And when I tell you, she taught me and still teaching me so much of how to be a woman, of how to be an MGT, you know. And I was like, and I told her recently, I said, you need to teach. You need to teach MGTs how to be MGTs. Because when I tell you the respect that she had for her home and her family, we can learn so much from this sister. I've learned so much from this sister, and I've been guided to be a better woman. Allah has not yet blessed me with my FOI. But see, he told me that I must qualify to be a righteous Muslim wife. There are qualifications, especially coming from this world, that we must go through, and we must be willing to face, sister. We must be willing to take off the old man. Stop thinking. The problem is we always want to control something. Well, Allah trying to take that control up out of our hands and give it back to our men. And we got to learn how to let go of that control. So when a man say, no, I got this, you got to say, yes, sir, I hear and I obey. And I'm going to give you that respect. So that's all I really wanted to say, Brother Ben. I don't want to get too emotional because I will right now. But may Allah bless us to just be more obedient to his will. And assalamu alaikum, family.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you for sharing. Sister Randisha.
Yes, sir. So, assalamu alaikum, family. So a few of my points from yesterday, I was just finishing up, was when we are in, self-improvement, the basis for community development, study guides 1 through 18. On page 146, rising above emotion to the thinking of God, says emotion, an intensified feeling. The dictionary defines emotion as an affective state of consciousness in which joy, sorrow, fear, hate, or like is expressed, as distinguished from cognitive and volitional states of consciousness. Any strong agitation of the feeling, actuated by experiencing love, hate, etc., usually accompanied by certain psychological changes as increased heartbeat, respiration, or the like, and often overt manifestations such as crying or shaking. Emotion is intensified feeling. It can become so strong and overpowering that it masters the mind of judgment. Though love is generally defined as an emotion, I would say that love is not an emotion. Love is the mother of emotion. Love is the creative force out of which all things come. Love can be broken down into 4 principles: freedom, justice, equality, and obedience to the will of Allah God. We call our intense feeling or like or dislike love and hate, a thin line between love and hate. But love is not just an intense feeling. That is a limitation that this world has placed on it. Make it our emotional reaction to something. The creative force is separate from the intense feeling that we have toward the creative thing. Allah, God created the jackass. Yet he states in the Holy Quran that the most hateful sound to him is the braying of the jackass he created. He created the hog, yet he has an intense dislike for it. The devil is made out of the creative force, and he certainly has an intense dislike for the devil. The jackass, the hog, the devil all serve as means to facilitate the creative act of love, beneficence, and mercy. Allah God does not desire disease on his planet, so he makes a detestable thing, the hog, which is used to extract a medicine to remedy some of the effects of a diseased thing that he has allowed to run wild and loose on this earth. We must now narrow love to an emotional reaction, but when we say God is love, the word is represented by the equal symbol, then love has to be complete. Because God is not an emotion. All of his attributes were embodied in the creative force we call love. An intense like for something is only one of its manifestations. And then as I transfer over to the restrictive law of Islam, our success, it says on page 40, my father, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, did not teach me shirk. He did not teach me to be kafar or disbeliever or infidel. He taught me the law of God. And that is what I intend to teach you. The first law. And the first law that he gave us was to worship no God but Allah. I shouldn't have to go any further than the first law because with that law and that law alone, you have the power to conquer all your enemies. The oft repeated prayer of the righteousness. In the very opening of the Holy Quran, there are 7 oft repeated verses that make up Surah Al Fatiha. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Praise be to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Master of the day of requital. Thee do we serve, and thee do we beseech for help. Guide us on the right path, the path of those upon whom thou hast bestowed favors, not those upon whom wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray. He further states, but before we even say the first verse of the Holy Quran, we must say, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The translators say that it means, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. However, the scholars say you cannot translate properly Arabic to English. But this was where I was trying to get to. It says, this is the prerequisite to greatness and the divine sense of greatness. I say the divine sense of greatness because when God bestows greatness on an individual, that greatness is not temporal, meaning it is not within the limits of the time. But when God bestows greatness on an individual, that greatness is outside of the bounds of the finite time of the life of that individual. That greatness of that individual extends beyond his or her time into the times of others, and sometimes for hundreds and thousands of years, the name of that individual is honored and remembered because they have attained to true greatness. True greatness is only that which comes from the existence of God. Now, when one aspires to serve God, the Lord of the worlds, they must serve him and him alone. Not serving him with somebody else, but serving him alone, associating nothing with him, understanding that he is singular, he is matchless, he is unique and incomparable, and he has no associates, no rivals, or no partners, is above need of his creatures, and all creation is a dependent of all, upon whom all we may depend. When one comes into the knowledge of self, being, and commits oneself to worship that being and that being alone, that one is on the path of true greatness. That one is on the path of conquering not some obstacles, but all obstacles that lie in the pathway of man's becoming one with his creator. So a Muslim, a righteous person, doesn't do anything without God's assistance, praying for his help, seeking his aid. So when the minister was talking about, right, when Peter, he said, don't tell anyone, right? When he met Jesus, I thought about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and when he was talking to Master Farad Muhammad. And he said to him, I know who you are. And Master Farad Muhammad said, who knows that but you, right? So as we're going through scripture and as we're fulfilling these scriptures, right? I also think about, me and my children, we were sitting down and we were watching a lecture that Brother Saad did at Mosque number 7, and I believe it was talking about the wise man, right? And I was saying to them, because the minister says you always got to see what your children think sometimes. So I was sitting down and I said to them, what do you think about X, Y, and Z? And my daughter was like, we believe that God is a man. And I was like, so why do you think that or whatever? She's not really confrontational, nor does she want to go into it. So she was like, I just believe that. But right now, I really just don't feel like talking about it. So can you come back to me later? I said, no problem. So I said to Rasul, he says, he believe in a wise man. And this is me. This is my child. He says to me, yeah, it didn't say a wise spirit in the Bible. And I thought about that he said a wise man. So I said, this dude got common sense. Not everybody has that, right? So he put, ye are all gods, children of the most high God. He put, except as you become a little child, you can enter the kingdom of God. And these are some of my notes from yesterday, but it's relevant to today because the minister stated the same thing, but just in a different way for those who didn't understand the first time that he said it, right? As we learn in wealth mastery is that the repetition is the mother of all learning. So the minister has been teaching these things because we have yet to get them. We have yet to arrive. Just when we think we have arrived, guess what? Something else comes up. And that's within me as well. As Coach Muhammad said, is that he uses the I for, not just to say, it's just me, but as a whole. But I can't think about the whole. I have to look at Sister Randisha. So let the same mind be in you that was in Jesus Christ. Don't tell me what you know. He put, that he was catching hell. He put, while you was in the womb, they was planning against your life. And I think about that, right? Me and my mom was having a conversation the other day, and my mom was telling me how she was never able to have children. And when she got pregnant with me, she just was going through a journey of life and a journey of things. And then she told me, like, when she had me, that, I had heart issues, and she was like, they kept telling me that you just wasn't going to live, and that if you had heart surgery, now, this is all the things, like, I didn't know, but I'm listening to my mom and I'm like, wow, like this is my history, huh? But she was just telling me, like, how they said that, I wasn't supposed to live, etc. And that if I lived towards a certain age, I would never be able to have children. I would have seizures and I would have all of these things. But I thank Allah that I am here today, right? He put, when you and I deal only with our feeling, you and I would never be a great people. I'm learning to not dealing with my feelings, because I learned that my feelings have um um I learned that when I deal with my feelings, it's not really, really good, because I used to think to hit first and ask questions later. But now I'm thinking about, as the minister said, I'm thinking about rationalizing, because as a believer, I am learning to be slapped. I am learning to be hit. One time I said to one of my coworkers, I was out one time and this lady had slapped me, right? And he said, when the Bible says Jesus slapped me, he turned both cheeks. And I said, no, I don't think I arrived with Jesus yet. But sometimes we have to go through these things, but sometimes as believers, how we handle each other and mishandle each other. And this is why we have to know that, think less emotional and more mathematical. Because how we deal with each other, it should be on the outside. Like the minister said, is that, the, the minister has saved a lot of people. Let's just say that, right? From who we used to be to who we are now, because we all could take it somewhere and we all can be other than ourselves. But the minister says that who are we? We are righteous Muslims. Um, and then hold on one second. Sorry. And then, he put, I give life and I cause death. And I had to think about that as I got on the power call and I was sharing about my daughter and just going through life things, right? Sometimes I think that I'm the only one that goes through these things, right? Sometimes I don't, and sometimes I'm so closed in. And I say this all the time. Sister Yasina said, I'm like that bulletproof glass. You can see me, but you can't touch me. My mother says that all the time. Like, I go to family members' house and I don't eat. I go to family members' house, I don't take off my jacket noodle. I take off my shoes and stand by the door. And my mother says, Randisha, you gotta get out of the habit of this. I don't know where you came from where you can't trust people. So I'm learning, right? As we on these power calls. He put, you are a student, but you don't have my assignment. And I think about, the song of, and we all think, because the minister said, and the minister's assignment is so different from our assignments. I had one of the brothers who I help in the prison system, and then I'm going to wrap this up. But he called me the other day and he said, you know, it was something that bothered me, right? And before he could say it, because I'm so in tune with certain things in myself now, um, and sometimes it scares me, to be honest with you. And I said, it was about, he said, yeah, it was Savior's Day 2020. He said, I had to rewind this part. And I said, yeah, it was about the minister. I said, yeah, he was talking about his domestic life, huh? He said, yo, how you know? I said, because Jemiah just asked me that same question when we watched Malcolm X. So I said, God was already preparing me to answer somebody's question through her. But when I got done explaining it to him, he said, you explained it to me so easy that when I went back and I told the other brothers that they were so easy, they was able to accept it just as you stated to me. So I said, all praises due to Allah. Continue to watch the minister. I continue to send you the paper. Continue to rise above emotion into the thinking of God. Your assignment ain't his. And then and then I was thinking about the why, right? I just got my math teacher actually emailed me yesterday, and then this is closing out. My math teacher emailed me yesterday. He says, oh man, Randisha, you're really, really great at math. Are you sure you want to still go into this funeral services industry? And I said, yeah, Professor. I said, I really don't like to talk to people much. I said, I like the dad because they don't talk back. You know, I could do their hair, I could do their makeup, I could come in there and I could go. And I'm just giving y'all a little bit of my mind, right? So I really like to be alone. I really like silence. All the confrontation. I don't like it. My brain don't do good with it. And he says to me, he says, but the way that you put those numbers together, he says, listen, you do a test in about, he says, record breaking time. He says, I really think that you should go into numbers and you should look into that. And this is after we got off the call yesterday. So when I was thinking about Sister Talia and what she was saying about the wise man and how our children are coming into the thinking of God, we have to be those examples. But I also think about the songs, right? As I said yesterday, Jasmine Sullivan and Brother Derek so kindly put it, is when she said that we're picking up those pieces, right? But sometimes is the message in those songs, right? Because in who was it, Marvin Sapp, when he said, I'm wiser, I'm better, I'm so much better, we have to realize that God is that only source. And then, and just so many things. So I just wanted to leave you all with that. But assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Thank you for sharing. All right, let's go to Brother Remus.
Yes, sir, beloved. Assalamu alaikum, family.
Walaikum salam.
Yes, sir, beloved. I just wanted to chime in on that part about quality of how we do it. At least is what was moving in my spirit. Whether it be prayer or just knowing why we're doing what we're doing. And really, really, I remember going back to sports and growing up. And thankfully, I had a father that was really a trainer, really a kinesiologist. It's the body movement, how you move. And, I've been in the gym and some brothers, they just want that bulked up, big look, and they want to walk around, I guess, just like with that swole arms out so big they can't even touch their toes type look. And my father trained me to be more on the lean look, like that. When you stretch that muscle all the way out and you're doing that curl, you can do curls where you just kind of grab 100 pounds or a heavier weight and do it a couple of inches and just, that's one thing. But it's a whole nother thing to stretch that muscle all the way out and be able to pull it all the way and fully extend it. It's a whole different thing. But if I was just trying to be flossing, as they say, or just, okay, the ladies is in the gym, let me put on as much as I can and don't get the full extension of the push-up, but just kind of, it's all about why you're doing what you're doing. And so I think about the prayer, how we put one hand, the right hand over the left and over our stomach. And when you have that, and when you 5 times a day, you stop what you're doing. Say, okay, Allah, let me go talk to you and reflect and just kind of stop everything. I know I need to go handle that, but let me just go talk to you, check in. They say if it wasn't for our prayers, Allah would have nothing to do with us. It's a powerful statement that all that good and all you're doing, but if it's not coming from a certain place, then it lacks something. So that the ability to check in and get instruction again, zero everything out throughout the day, and knowing that big gap between the first prayer and now Zuhr, now it's a situation where a lot of hours have gone by. That next prayer is a few hours later, a couple hours later, as the day starts to progress. And because as you get more and more tired, you're going to need to check in again and again, and that sun starts to go down, and then you check in a couple more hours later. But that first prayer in the morning, all the way till, maybe 5 o'clock in the morning or so, depending on where the sun rises or whatever. And you might not do that prayer again, not till noontime, 1 o'clock, so that's a long gap of time. A lot has happened. Hopefully, you've been busy doing something, praying, whatever you've been doing. But the reason why to get back, and then now a couple of hours later, 3 o'clock or so, you praying again. Now 5, 6 o'clock, sun, getting ready to set, you praying again. And so it's why are you doing this is so crucial. I remember being in Japan and the kata. Everybody knows about the kata and different routines of different drills and things. There's a whole science behind it. It's not just going through motions and getting to the yellow belt. There's a whole thing that you're mastering. You get a good teacher, they'll tell you how that actually applies in real situations. And so it's powerful with Master Farad Muhammad, with this guidance that we have, why we do what we do, message to the black man in America. It's different than the message to black folks in Africa. We've been through something. And so why we do what we do is really brilliant. It's really amazing. It's really powerful. And tapping into what that is, Allah reveals all the answers, especially the blessing of the minister. So much guidance it gives us, man. Like we see a lot of our brothers that just have to use the bishwak. How am I saying it right? The mishwak? You know, the stick they got to use because Prophet Muhammad did it. It's almost like when now you don't do that, then you ain't going to Jannah. You ain't going, because you're using a toothbrush. So the point is why if we do what we do and extracting that. So I look forward to tomorrow. You said we're going to talk about rituals and the minister's going to address that. And what's the meaning behind it? We can get caught up in doing just rituals and I don't know. I got to tell this last story. You guys have probably heard it before where the little girl went to her grandmother. I went to her mother and said, Mom, why are we always at Thanksgiving? We always cut the turkey in half and then we just throw away a big piece of it. She said, girl, grandmother's over there. Go ask her. I don't know. That's what she taught me to do. She said, Grandma, how come we always just cut the turkey in half and then we throw that other part over there away? And why do we do that? Seems like a lot of good meat we throwing away. She said, baby, when we was growing up, we had a pan that was only this big. And the oven we had was so small, we couldn't fit the turkey into the pan. So we just did that. We just threw away that other part of the turkey because that's just what we could do. So your mother must have saw me doing it. So when she got to having her family with you, she started doing that. And now you're getting ready to start having your family. So I'm glad you asked me because now we got bigger pans. You don't need to do that no more. That was appropriate for that time. But you don't have to keep doing that because it's a different time. So anyway, just thought I'd share that with you.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. All right, family. I want to read something really quick. This is from Closing the Gap. The teacher. This is from Closing the Gap, and talking about the mind of God. Right today. Look at what it says. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad stated that the ultimate aim and purpose of Master Farrakhan Muhammad is to make each one into a God. Well, that statement alone hopefully helps us out because it didn't say he came to make two gods. See, as Brother Coach Khan says, you can see God in everybody else but yourself. He didn't come just to raise the Honorable Elijah Muhammad up. He didn't come just to raise the minister up. So where do you get that they got power and you don't have power? Did not the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say all praise is due to Allah? Don't the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan say all praise is due to Allah? So if it says, let this mind the same that is in Christ, be in you. And if he had the mind of God, well, whose mind is really being shared with you? Why do you think so little of yourself? Why do you look at them and say, oh, look at that, but you can't see the God within yourself. You're not making his word bond. See, when the minister say something, we gotta make his word bond. Okay. Well, if Master Farrakhan Muhammad came to make you into something, make his word bond then. Too, when it come to you. Let's continue. If that is his purpose, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wouldn't have a purpose except for the purpose of the master. And Minister Louis Farrakhan wouldn't have a purpose except for the purpose of the student of the master. Then it is safe to say that the ultimate aim and purpose of Minister Louis Farrakhan is the same as the master, to make each one of us into a God. Who are you now? Who are you now? Well, you can big up everybody else and watch this and mask the disbelief you have in yourself with humility. That's what some people are doing. Oh, well, brother, I just, no, you don't have belief in yourself enough. But you're masking that with, oh, I'm just being humble. Oh, beloved, no, you don't believe that God is also working through you. But you're hiding behind that. You're fearing to step out there and use the force and power that you have. You're scared to speak because you're really scared of what somebody gonna say about you if they believe that your words was on point, if they believe that the way that you said it was clean and oh no, you worrying about all that. That's what you're really masking it behind. Oh yeah. Come on, man. This is telling us what they aim and purpose is to make us into something, a God. Well, what is God? A being that exercises force and power, man. Force and power. When we hear him say, "Kun fire kun, be and it is," you got that type of power. But you just ain't exercising it. For this cause I have come into the world, said Jesus, ultimately to be the bridge that connects connects and binds man back to his original state, where there is no gap in thought, where there is no separation between man and God. This couldn't be achieved by Jesus or any messenger of Allah unless they themselves went through the process of actually stood in the gap between man and God. Well, where exactly is the gap? It was put like this in the Old Testament. My thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are my ways your ways. Mine are from above, while yours are from beneath. Then it went on to say, that as the rain falls down from the heavens, so shall my word be that cometh out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but shall accomplish what I will and prosper whereunto I send it. So above ain't necessarily some heaven way up there in the sky. Above is a higher level of thinking that he want to bring us up to. He want to raise our thinking. Kingdom. He wants to be the king of our dome. Oh, man. You talking about the temple? Oh, we got 2 temples right here. He needs to reside in this temple the same way you go to the temple or the mosque or your church and you turn your music down. It ain't cussing. You want to be respectful now. You on point. Well, hey, man, this is the real temple right here. We the real temple of God. Don't you know that you are the real temple of God and that the Spirit dwells within you? Oh, yeah, that's a scripture. Google it. Yeah, chat GPT that to see who you are. All right, look at this. It's clear by this statement that someone is operating or thinking on a higher level and therefore able to do greater things and accomplish more than one who is operating beneath. We all dealing with thought now. So there forms a gap or difference in the results of a person whose thoughts are from above. Let me read that one again. Oh, let me read that one again. So there forms a gap or difference in results of a person whose thoughts are from above. Look at this, man. And the person whose thoughts are from beneath. God ain't sitting up there, okay, I want him to be rich. Okay, I want him to have friendship, but not her. I want him. No, that ain't how this thing is working. Somebody's thoughts is different, which is leading to different feelings and actions that's leading to different type of results based on how we thinking. Now, ain't it beautiful? Oh, ain't it beautiful, man? That it didn't say based on the money that's in my bank account. Ain't it beautiful? It don't say based on how swole I am. Oh, ain't it beautiful? It didn't say based on how tall I am. Damn, that's good. Because if it's by that bank account, ooh, man, I got a unfair advantage. This person got more money than me. This person got a trust fund. It didn't say none of that, did it? It said, based on your thoughts, you got access and control over your thoughts today. You could change them. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Oh, ain't that beautiful? Ain't it beautiful that it's just the thoughts that actually leads to the results that you see other people have? Oh, man, you can't say, oh, I can't afford it. Oh, it didn't say based on the car that you got. You can't say I can't afford better thoughts. I ain't got enough money. Oh, man, you can go and you can sit down with yourself and think over it. As the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You remember how Honorable Elijah Muhammad used to make a point? He would say, think over that. Think over that. Think over it. Oh, man, he used to have you thinking over it, didn't he? Look at this. So there forms a gap or difference in the results of a person whose thoughts are from above and the person whose thoughts are from beneath. The gap exists in the thought consciousness. This brother Jabril, he breaking this down in this book. And if the gap exists in thought, watch this, then the gap can be closed by thought. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. What is substance? What is the substance? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that thought can be measured. It travels at the speed of 24 billion miles per second. Is thought substance? And if thought is substance, how do we transfer that substance into material evidence? Shout out to brother James Williams in the house. He said, I ain't been able to be on, but I'm on today. Yes, sir. We are told in the scriptures that as a man or woman thinketh in his heart, so is he. Watch this, y'all. I need y'all to, if y'all don't write down nothing now, write down this next sentence that he about to say. Oh, look, this closing the gap now. Look at this. At no time, I'm going to say it slow. At no time does man ever manifest or experience anything that he is not conscious of being. That's sentence number one. Sentence number two, you got to write this down. Try as you might to fight the circumstances, situations, or people. It is like shattering a full body mirror. You are only fighting the image, not the source of the image, which is your consciousness. All right, last piece. I need you to write this down because, you got to understand this. Look at this. Everything in your life, our life, from the way your furniture is arranged to the way your life events play out, is a direct result of the sum total of your thoughts. Damn. Ooh. I know you want to fight that statement, don't you? You want to say, no, I'm broke because of my mama. No, I'm broke because of this white man. No, I ain't got it together because he did it. I ain't got it together because she did it. Oh, no, I ain't where I want to be because of he, she. Nope. This thing right here said, ooh. Everything from the way your furniture is arranged to the way your life events play out is a direct result of the sum total of your thoughts. Good God Almighty. She said, sure, what page it is. Now, sister, I ain't been in school in a good minute. This one of them Roman numerals. 10, 5. This page 17. This page numeral 17. XVII. Roman numeral 17. There it is. All right, here you go. Look at this now. We war not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places. The high place is your mind. Dang, there it is. The high place is your mind. The scriptures say Jesus went up on the mountain to pray, and there Satan tempted him. Well, where was Satan? In his mind, Jesus went up, and in his attempt to reach higher levels of awareness of himself, he found a devil. What does that mean? A contrary thought or opposition. Oh, see, the minister, he making it plain, man. I mean, look at this. I heard a great R&B singer say about his climb to the top. On every level, there's another devil. There's a process to closing the gap between you and the object of your desire. It involves raising your awareness. There is no escape except through consciousness. You must assume the consciousness of that which you seek. Oh man, he's telling me, he's giving us the blueprint. You want to be more like the minister? It's saying we have to escape through consciousness. You must assume the consciousness of that which you seek if you are to see the desire fulfilled in your life. So we can't just, as the minister was, oh, this is perfect. The minister was saying, well, I got the part. Why you got the part? See, I do this, but why you? What's your motive? See, brother Remus said, what you big and you trying to impress the women. What's your motive? I'm trying to just stay in shape. You trying to, you wearing the white beater extra small. You know damn well you need a bigger shirt. Why you got it extra tight on you? What you doing? See? What's your motive, man? The minister even said this. This is paraphrasing because this ain't verbatim. You tell a lot about yourself by what you report or say about, it's something like that, about somebody else. You really saying, you showing you. He said, you may be right in what you saying about them, but your motive will condemn you. The motive in which you sharing it will condemn you. Ooh, boy, the minister don't be playing, don't he, man? Look at this here. Oh, this is wisdom. He said, in order to become anything, you have to be the desire, the thing desired. You have to be it. If we look a little closer at the life and time of Jesus, we see that in the beginning of his ministry, he submitted himself totally to the Father. He loved and spoke of the authority of his Father. He said, I can of myself do nothing. The Father doeth the work. No man cometh unto me except by the Father. But as Jesus grew in his ministry, Brother Hakeem, and his mission, he continued in obedience to the authority. Then he began to perform miracles and carried out the will of his Father. We saw a merging of the mind of Jesus, son of a carpenter, and Christ consciousness, the Son of God. Oh, we got to merge now. Then we heard the same man begin to speak differently. Oh, he changed. He grew and changed up a little bit. Latrell, look, when his disciples or followers asked him, when will we see the Father? Oh, look at Jesus. Well, look at what he said. Jesus showed major disappointment with them. He said things like, how long must I suffer with you? All these miracles I have shown you, yet you still don't believe? Oh, man, he had a, man, hey, I've been among you all this time and you ain't seen the Father? Look at that, man. Then toward the so-called end, we heard Jesus speak from the authority. When you see me, you see the Father, for I am in him and he is in me. Then he said, I am the resurrection and the life. Oh man, look at how he's elevating. What happened? The more Jesus yielded to the higher power, the more access he had to the source of the power. The higher power was never something outside of him. The Father was and is his own consciousness of being. Oh, I'm gonna stop it right there, boy. Ooh, I'm gonna end it right there. Ooh. Ooh, that's that Closing the Gap book right there, y'all. That's Closing the Gap. That's Closing the Gap. So, we got to plug back in. See, you ever had your phone charged? You charge your phone, you sit down, charge your phone. Your phone reach 100%. Phone running smooth too, running quick, fast, apps opening, closing quick. So you say, well, let me take it off the charger. I got 100%. And as you go on with your life, what's happening is because you have unplugged from the source, your battery's going down. Still functioning, but your battery went down. And see, what happened is Apple knows its device. It knows how much juice it needs, and it knows when it's able to perform at optimal health. So what happens is Apple has it pre-programmed that at 10, 20, I think by 20%, you get a notification. Low battery. Now, I want y'all to keep it real. How many of you, when you see the low battery notification, you hit close notification? You don't run to the charger. Okay, I got to put this on. Where my charger at? You hit close because in your mind, man, I still got 20%. I'm still charged up. I still got 20%. Then the battery, the manufacturer knows its device better than the device. So you continue and you get another warning at 10%. Pop up again, low battery, now 10%. And we keep on going. We keep on going. We saying it's cool. It's still on. It's still functioning. I still get calls. I still get texts. But the device manufacturer knows it's not performing at optimal health. So what happens is around 2%, 1%, your phone begins to not open as fast. The phone begins to static. The phone, and at that moment, you like, I gotta find my charger. And you run into your charger, and by the time you get to the charger, you open it up, damn, phone done died. Well, that's the same with us. We come in, we get the word, we charge up, we on high, feeling good. Sunday. Monday comes, okay, I'm charged up, I'm good. But see, certain things happen in life. You get triggers. You get a notification from the God. You better come back to me. You better come charge back up. What do we do? No, not right now, Lord. No, I don't feel like communicating with you right now. No, I don't feel like sitting down studying right now. No, I don't feel like pausing and let that juice. Yeah. We want to keep going because in my mind, I'm still functioning. I'm alive. I'm still breathing. I can see, I can hear, I can taste. But you don't even realize that the manufacturer, the one who designed us and created us, he knows best what we need. So he done gave us rituals and he done gave us principles and practices so that we can remain charged up and acting fully optimal. And many of us going through life on 10%. You don't even realize it because you can walk around, but you're on 10%, boy. You're on 10%, sister. You damn near your phone about to die. You about to check out. And it's time for you to connect back to the source. Ain't nothing wrong with checking back in and connecting to the source. Best thing to do really is have you a virtual Bluetooth phone charger. I mean, you want to have 2, 3 of them. You want to have a charger that can connect to the source. And even when you're away from the source, you got something that you can plug into. Don't ever think because you got charged up and you at 100% that you can do without the charge now. Oh, you think you can do without the charge now. And that's where we find ourselves messed up because we done been too far, too long away from charging back up to the source. And as we got to charge our phones daily. See, we don't charge your phone on Sunday and say, all right, well, I'll be back next Sunday to charge up. No, boy, you be dead by then. See, but because you're still walking and talking, we don't realize that the minister said you first have a mental and spiritual death that leads to an untimely physical death. An untimely physical death. So the same way you plug up your phone and you make sure you carry around one of them virtual Bluetooth phone chargers, well, how do you carry God with us on a daily basis to make sure you recharge? See? So some of you, I can't think, Brother Ben. I can't. I got so many, you got so many tabs open on your phone. You know when your tabs is open and you you do this for like 10 minutes, you got so many tabs open. Because as your battery goes down, it's not able to handle all the apps that's open up in your phone. We got many tabs open up. You got to worry about your children, that's a tab. Your wife and husband, that's a tab. Your mama getting old, that's a tab open in your mind. Business, that's a tab open in your mind. The job that you own to fund your business, that's a tab open in your mind. You getting old, that's a tab open in your mind. Your health, that's a tab open in your mind. See, so you got all these tabs open in your mind and you're saying, I can't think, I'm moving slow and procrastinating because you ain't sat down and charged up and took it to the God and said, oh, Allah, I'm overwhelmed. Woo! I seek thy refuge from anxiety and grief. You ain't said it in 3 months. You ain't said your prayer. You ain't sat down and just analyzed the tabs that's open and make sure I got the full charge to be able to handle the tabs that's open in my mind. You running on 10%, soldier. And you're wondering why you can't get this off the ground and I can't get that off the ground and I can't get this from, because you ain't fully optimal. It takes spiritual development to hold that type of weight. That's mental weight. That's mental weight on your shoulders. Your mama, your daddy, your granny need you. All these people need you. And you saying in the back of your head, damn it, I need them. They calling on me thinking I'm strong. Really, I need them. You calling to borrow something, I need to hold something. That's what you thinking. So you gotta go into your spiritual gym. Y'all want to work out for Instagram. Y'all want to get swollen. You want to lift your bench up and all that in the gym and do some crazy stuff for Instagram. You doing upside down flips and back flips and push-ups standing up. No, you need to be doing spiritual push-ups. Spiritual jumping jacks. Let the God grow us mentally and spiritually because listen, ain't no weight like that mental weight. I understand people who do physical labor, but I did some research and mental weight, mental stress is just as hard to deal with as physical pain, physical stress. So what gym are you going to? What workout are you doing for the spiritual and mental weight that's on your shoulders and that's on your mind? So charge back up to your source, man. Charge back up. Don't think you got it. See, that's the problem with it. We charge up, we get 100%. You think you got it. I got the T. That nigga, I know the T. I've been in the nation 90 years. You think you got it because you've been in a decade or two. You think you got it. So you done unplugged. And life is starting to go like this here. And it may not be a hard turn, but you don't notice that you like this here. You just slightly off. Oh, we get not you, we. Shoot, let me add me in there. We slightly off. And we can't notice it because it's real subtle. But then after a while, a year go by, 2 years go by, 3 years go by. And what was once kind of like subtle, you damn near like this here. Boy, you on a whole different path. So you got to be brought back, man. Come on to the source, man. I know it's not easy sometimes. See, when you got your phone on your charger, sometimes you can't use it because it don't charge up as fast. So sometimes you gotta do what you don't want to do. I wanna move with it. I don't want it to really be way over there. I wanna be in my bed. I wanna the plug too far. So you may have to sacrifice for a few minutes for you to get what you need. You don't wanna, damn, gotta report again. You don't want to come back because really it's some stuff you don't want to do. I don't want to submit to nobody no more. That's what it really is. Niggas done did me bad. They don't appreciate me. Come on, man. Keep it real now. But see, that submission is all a part of making you what he wants to make you. In the midst of, you heard what the minister just said, oh man, if I would have known you was going to punk out like that, I would have never invited you to this. If you was going to act like that over a little trial, over somebody speaking to you a little wrong, over you feeling like, oh, I was supposed to get that position. Oh, I'm supposed to get the accolades because I did this. Hey, man, who you worshiping? No God but Allah. Who you need accolades from? Whether they give you a trophy or not, boy. Did Allah see you? That's how you got to talk to yourself like that sometime, man. So no, man, come on, plug into the source now. And I know what somebody thinking, I can plug into the source from home. Well, Master Farrakhan Muhammad would have told you to stay at home. He wouldn't have set up no mind. I don't want to hear that. Oh, you know we got an excuse for, oh, shoot, I can seek refuge. I can read the home. I can run from the high. I can read the 7 Proven Study Guide from the crib. Why he set up the mosque then? Why he set up the structure then? What's the structure set up for then? Come on, man. That's a part of making us. I know you want to find an excuse, but that's a part of making us what we gonna be made into. Okay, I'm through. Who next? Who we got next? Or was that everybody? I might have took somebody's turn. My bad, y'all. Just got the spirit got into me a little bit. I don't see nobody else next. Okay, Sister Gina, there she go. Sister Gina.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
You know, it's so amazing how Allah works, because when the minister was speaking about the emotional part of us and how we operate emotions, keep our emotions in check. As you're speaking, Brother Ben, my son is texting me from court, from his job. And he's going through a thing with his supervisor who instead of pulling him to the side and respectfully saying whatever she had to say to him about something that he misunderstood, she tries to talk to him and belittle him in front of all his other classmates or whatever you want to call them, because they're in training right now. And for this job with the state, and part of it is going to family court. So anyway, so he's texting me, and it's amazing because from what I listened to today and from you speaking, as you're speaking, it gave me the words to say to him, to keep him, to let him know, don't get emotional, because it seems like this is what she's trying to get you to do anyway, for whatever her reason is. So he said to me, I didn't. He said, I'm keeping it under wraps, Mom. He said, I'm doing well. He said, I emailed my bigger boss. So he said, but I don't know. He said, they may end up firing me. I said, you know what? Allah got you on this. I said, just stay in check, call on him. I said, he got you. I said, and if that happens, then he's the best knower. Maybe there's something in that job that, down the line that might be more harmful for him than him getting fired today. So, I mean, it's a blessing how things work. And I just wanted to share because it made me feel good that that this happened at this time and I'm in this circle and I'm able to say something to him and to advise him to keep your emotions in check so that you don't have get your own self fired. If they're not going to do that, they may just reprimand you or, give you a warning or something. But I appreciate this community, and I don't say say things a lot of times, but I'm listening and I'm taking in. And like I said, oh my God, you're talking to me. So yes, charge. We have to be charging and plugging back in. And I'm glad which is why I asked for a book, because I have to plug in with my home situation and trying to, well, originally we were going to sell my house until my mom got really sick. I packed up everything because they kept telling me, you got to declutter. And I was like, okay. I decluttered. I started packing because I was ready to go. And now we on hold, so stuff is still packed up. So, but I'm going to go into the garage and find my Closing the Gap book. But yes, it's this has been amazing. Today it's been so awesome. I mean, that's all I can say. And I don't know. I just love this community. You know, I can't always be on it like I want to be on it, but when I do get on it, it's always something that uplifts my day. You know, that, as you says, recharges, because I connect back in. So I thank you, Brother Ben, for all you do. I'm thankful to that Allah has brought you into my life, because until I came into the nation, there was, just so many things I didn't know and that I have learned since I've been here, right and wrong. When I say right and wrong, I'm talking about within me and what I do and how I walk. So I'm grateful. And that's all I have to say. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Man, I thank God for this brother or sister, Just One Spark movement. Man, they made a hell of a point. They said, some devices you can't leave plugged in once at 100%. Staying plugged in after fully charged can damage some devices. Too many fully charged, but scared to actually go to work. Woo! Good God Almighty. Look at what it say here. Leaving your phone on the charger after it reaches full capacity can gradually degrade your battery health over time, because modern phones continuously trickle charge even when full, generating unnecessary heat and stressing the battery cells, which can shorten its lifespan. That's like staying in the mosque, going to the church, but you never go out and get nobody. Oh, you there every Sunday. You can't wait to get there, but you ain't doing no work. You ain't dealing with the lost found. You never go outside to get nobody else. That's bad too. Oh boy, that's good science there, man, you brought up. So yeah, you being in here and yeah, you getting heat and you getting unnecessary heat. Oh man, that ain't helping you. The minister said, what'd he say? He said, this ain't no punk time, mosque time, or temple time. He said, get in them streets now. That's what he said. So come to your mosque meet, go to your study group, but balance it out. Plug up so you can get charged up to go back out and work. Apply yourself so that you can apply. Man, I'm tired. Ooh, I've been working. Come get charged back up so you can go back out. But don't just be, I'm in here. Look at me. I'm saved. Look at me. I'm redeemed. I'm in the mosque. Yes, sir, brother. Praise be to Allah. And I'm in here. You in the church. Oh, in the name, praise his name, his holy name, in the name of Jesus. And you just in there rotting and draining. That's draining too. You got to go out and work what you've been learning. You got to go out and try your faith. Try what you've been given. So it's a balance. Come on in here, get charged up by the God, but go on back out and apply yourself. Ooh, somebody else said, been missing my power call, fan. So glad I was able to make it today. Oh, we had 2 people said that. Oh, y'all been slacking on the power call, huh? We here. We on deck. We up next. On deck for what? Let's go to Brother Daniel.
I don't think you heard from Sister Tanisha yet. It's my second time.
Oh, okay. Brother Daniel. Sister Tornisa.
Oh, okay. Brother Daniel.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Kalia and I was reading this morning, Moses.
Are you on Bluetooth? You on Bluetooth?
The history of Moses. And it made me
Are you on Bluetooth?
It was saying, and when he turned his face
Sister Tornisa, are you on Bluetooth?
Oh, yes, sorry. Brother Ben is hilarious. He makes me laugh every night. I'm on Bluetooth. Okay. It's just funny. Oh my God. Mom. Hey, tell me what you were reading today. Read this. I was written, and when he turned his, I was reading. When he turned his face towards Midian, he said, "Maybe my Lord will guide me in the right path." And when he came to the water of Midian, he found there a group of men watering, and he found beside them 2 women keeping back their flock. Okay. He said, "What is the matter with you?" They said, "We cannot water until the shepherds take away their sheep from the water. And our father is a very old man." So he watered their sheep for them, then went back to the shade and said, "My Lord, I stand in need of whatever good thou mayest send to me." Then one of the 2 women came to him walking bashfully. She said, "My father invites thee that he may reward thee for having watered for us." So when he came to him and related to him the story, he said, "Fear not, thou art secure from the iniquitous people." So basically what I want to say is, what I got is that he wasn't sure what he was going to do because of what had happened, but he went anyway. And then he said, "Maybe my Lord will guide me in the right path." And if we just say maybe, God will guide us in the right path, we would go that far and we would do something. I'm talking to myself as well. And then when he got there, he seen the women, stayed back, but he decided to help somebody. Sometimes we want to hold our hand back too when we going through trials. Sometimes I know it's times when I don't even have it and I give my last because I know that somebody else might need it more than me. And so Allah rewards you and blesses you. And he got rewarded. He got blessed at the end of this whole story. He got blessed. So we got to walk on faith, knowing that we're going to be able to do what God wants us to do and walk that way. He's going to reward us. So if we just take our self and just decide to just walk with God, walk with faith, knowing that at the end we're doing something good, just maybe. And we know for surety that Allah is going to bless us. But just maybe if we just take that time out and stop being afraid and have that fear, that Allah will just walk with us and guide us into some different some different rooms that we don't even know that we was going to be a part of. Just maybe. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Family, I have an interview that I'll be on in 20 minutes, and I almost forgot. So I have to close out and go get ready. It's going to be on the internet, though. I don't know if y'all know our sister Ebony, but I'm on her podcast today. I'm on her podcast today, Sister Ebony X. So she going to be interviewing me in about 20 minutes. So we're going to be live in 20 minutes. So I got to get ready to go. Thank you all for sharing this morning. Really good feedback. Thank you all who's been joining your power call and things of that nature. And if you're listening somewhere else and you want to come on a Zoom call and share with us your thoughts and your perspective at the end of each call, go to www.thepowercall.net, www.thepowercall.net. Also, if you have a business, if you are an entrepreneur, tonight I am doing an open class in my digital real estate class. And the topic is 3 ways you are losing money going into 2025. If you have a business or you are an entrepreneur, I'm doing on 3 ways you are actually losing money going into 2025 and how to stop the bleeding. So I'm putting it in the chat right now. I'm putting the link inside the chat for y'all so y'all can register. We're going to be live tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time. If y'all know anybody who's an entrepreneur or a business owner, it's free. You ain't got to pay nothing. I'm providing y'all with some research that I put together to show y'all and get y'all to open your eyes and wake up to what may be happening in your business. So thank y'all for listening, man. I'll see you guys, inshallah, tonight, or if y'all gonna be on this podcast in 20 minutes. Now, let me give y'all the details because it's probably gonna be on her on her Facebook page. She don't really, it's called The God Standard. Her Instagram is, her Facebook page is EBBONI, Sister Ebony X. The podcast is The God Standard. It's going to be at 12 p.m. Eastern time, so in about 20 minutes, okay? So hopefully y'all can locate it because it don't really got no links or nothing. So thank y'all for listening. See you guys, inshallah, tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum.
Is Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister. And Ben tells them about the minister.